What's good, everyone, and welcome to the Crypto Command cryptocurrency course. My name is Gabe, and I'll be walking you through your crypto journey. If you end up liking me by the end of this or just interested in more crypto content, feel free to connect with me on YouTube at GKnight. Furthermore, if you're looking for an easy and user-friendly way to track the crypto market and manage all of your funds across multiple exchanges, check out the Crypto Command app. There's a link to it here, and you can also find it in your app store. That being said, let's start talking crypto. This course will contain what I consider to be the most important topics detailing crypto. We're going to start off by looking at what crypto is, which is what this video will contain. Next, I'll help you set up your Binance account and learn the fundamentals of the exchange so you'll understand how the exchange works and how to buy and sell crypto. Next, I'll walk you through setting up a MetaMask wallet, which will let you interact with the realm of decentralized finance, and then we will look at decentralized finance so you can discover yield farming and start earning passive income off of your crypto. Lastly, we'll dive relatively deep into technical analysis, learning how to chart, use indicators, and read patterns so you can trade to your advantage. You're in for a wild journey throughout crypto, so let's get started with our first topic: what is crypto? So, what is crypto? Well, basically, it is digital currency. What this means is that there's no actual physical currency involved. There's no such thing as a physical Bitcoin or a physical Ethereum that people exchange with one another. It's all digital and it's all stored on the blockchain, and we'll get more into that later. But for right now, what you need to understand is that it's a currency, which means you can use it as any other currency would be used. You can use it to pay for goods, you can receive crypto payments, you can even lend out your crypto and take crypto loans. So basically, it works as any other currency would. And it's recently become a very popular alternative to traditional fiat currencies such as the US dollar, the euro, the peso, whatever your native country's currency is. It's becoming a great alternative to it. And we'll talk about that once we get into the benefits of crypto. And cryptocurrencies work because of something called blockchain technology. This is the underlying technology that enables cryptocurrencies, and it basically prevents counterfeits of crypto and also prevents double spending so that you know that the cryptocurrencies that you receive are valid transactions and it's just not going to disappear from your crypto wallet one day. And another really cool thing about cryptocurrencies is that you have full control of your money, which means there's no need for banks because this is all decentralized. Your crypto wallet will basically act as your bank, and you will, in essence, become your own bank, which is super awesome. This means you don't have to worry about withdrawal limitations, how much money you have to keep in the bank, or even if the bank has your money, because now you have control over your money. You can monitor your balance, see how much is in there, and withdraw however much you want, whenever you want, and do whatever you want with it. So yeah, crypto is pretty cool like that. But that also means you have a lot of responsibility now because now you're in charge of the money. So yeah, make sure you take care of your cryptocurrencies and your cryptocurrencies will take care of you. It's also worth noting that there are thousands of different cryptos on the market, and they're not all created equal. There are some really well-established ones, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, and then there's also what we call shitcoins, which are coins that really serve no purpose, don't have much backing, and are generally scams. So do your due diligence, research the coins before getting into them, and that way you can ensure that you're buying a legit cryptocurrency that people actually use. So you may or may not be familiar with the word coin or tokens, but I'm going to break it down for you because it is worth noting the difference between a coin and a token. So what a coin is it's basically a cryptocurrency that's native to its own blockchain. And you'll know it's native to its own blockchain because you'll use it to pay for the gas fees, which are basically transaction fees that you pay when transacting or making transactions. And it's also rewarded to the miners or stakers who validate these transactions. And then you have tokens, which are built on another blockchain, and they can also exist on multiple blockchain networks as well. So it's worth noting this because you're going to hear these terms get thrown around, and sometimes people interuse these, but they're really two different things. And it's generally good to know, especially when researching different coins, to understand how that coin works and what makes it so special. And it's also good to know because when you're making transactions, you want to make sure that you send the coin or the token on the appropriate network, or otherwise you're going to end up burning your funds, which means sending them to some place where you'll never recover them. Alright, so moving on, let's talk about the basics of blockchain. Now, the reason I bring this up is because blockchain technology is what gives you trust in cryptocurrencies. And if you can't trust blockchain, then you really can't trust cryptocurrencies. So I'm not going to go too in depth into this. It can be quite complicated, and the truth is it's not very important to know. It's just good to have some kind of general understanding of it so that you can trust the money that you'll be using. Think of it as like learning basic economics so that you understand how your dollar loses value every year due to fractional reserve banking. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So as I previously mentioned, blockchain is the underlying technology that enables cryptocurrencies. And you can think of blockchain as one huge distributed ledger, also known as a public database. Now, these transactions are recorded into blocks on this database, and these blocks will be chained together sequentially, and we'll talk about how this happens. But what this does is it creates a tamper-proof environment so that you can ensure that all of your transactions are valid and that your money's just not going to disappear from you. And this is all possible due to cryptography, which is basically very complicated math that you do not need to know. But to understand how math ensures that your transactions are valid, let's go ahead and take a look at what a block is. So there's three functions to the block. There's data, a hash, and then the hash of the previous block. So the data that goes into each block are the transactions, who it's from, where's it going to, and the amount being transacted. And this data will generate a hash. And you can think of a hash as like a fingerprint because it's going to be unique to that specific data. And the hash is generated through cryptographic functions in which the data inputs are going to equal a hash, but this hash cannot give you the data inputs that were put in. And if any of the data inputs are changed, it's going to completely change the hash, which would invalidate the block. That's why you can't really tamper with blockchain, because changing the data would change the hash, which would invalidate transactions. And the more blocks added to the chain, the more valid those transactions become. And this is because the new block includes the hash of the previous block, which is ultimately what chains all these transactions together. Now, it would technically be possible for someone to alter a transaction and then with some kind of supercomputer to calculate new hashes for all of the subsequent blocks. This is where proof of work and proof of stake come into play to make it nearly impossible to overtake the network. With proof of work, computers must solve cryptographic algorithms to validate blocks, and these validators are known as miners. Now, this is a very time and resource intensive process, so if someone were to try and alter a block, they would have to recreate the proof of work for every single block in the network, which would be nearly impossible to do. Not to mention, they would also have to have 51% control of the network. Proof of stake varies from this, but is also a very popular method for reaching consensus. In proof of stake, holders stake coins in order to confirm transactions, and typically the more coins that you stake, the higher the chance that you will confirm the transaction is. And if someone were to want to corrupt the proof of stake network, they would have to stake 51% of the total coin supply, which would be extremely difficult to do and extremely costly. And also, they wouldn't have much incentive to attack the network they hold a majority stake in. So I know blockchain can be confusing, but the good news is you don't have to be a blockchain expert to get started with crypto. However, if you are looking to get started with crypto, it's probably a good idea to know the benefits of crypto. Firstly, crypto is decentralized, which means there's no central authority and you're going to have full control of your money. Everything is backed by math, which creates a trustless environment, and it's also permissionless, as you don't have to ask permission from anybody to do whatever you want with your money. Secondly, crypto can make a very great and lucrative investment, especially if you're investing in a project with great tokenomics, because this can drive the price of the asset up and also be a great way to hedge against inflation, especially with coins that have supply caps or have deflationary tokenomics, in which coins are always constantly being burned or have some sort of supply cap and people just keep losing coins, decreasing the supply. Also, there's just plenty of ways to generate passive income off of your crypto. You can mine crypto, you can stake crypto, you can allocate your crypto to DeFi protocols and earn passive income that way. You can provide liquidity to liquidity pools. You can even borrow crypto and get paid for that, surprisingly. And you can also lend out your crypto and get paid for that as well. Furthermore, some crypto projects may have some real-world utility to them. These utility tokens can give you access to a product or service or company that you otherwise would not have access to without the utility token. A lot of cryptocurrencies are also extremely transparent. You can open up a blockchain explorer and look at transactions in real time. Furthermore, a lot of these cryptocurrencies are open source, so you can look at the code for yourself and see if it's something that you trust. Now, one of my favorite benefits of crypto is that there are privacy solutions, especially with privacy coins such as Monero or Zcash. You're going to have fungible coins which you can transact anonymously with people so that nobody sees how much you transact, where it came from, or who it's going to. The last benefit I'm going to mention is that cryptocurrency is universal, which means one Bitcoin is always going to be worth one Bitcoin to someone else somewhere in the world. So if you're sending payments to a different country, there's no conversions needed along the way. You're just going to send them one Bitcoin, and if they want, they can then just convert it back into fiat money. But with all that being said, there are still some negatives to cryptocurrency that you should be familiar with. Firstly, you've probably noticed, and especially if you're watching this video, crypto is not entirely user-friendly yet. It will take some time and patience to fully understand like how to use your wallet or make transactions or even secure your crypto. But with time, all of this stuff will improve as more people are drawn into the crypto space. Also, as much of a benefit this is, it's also quite a negative as well because everyone is going to be responsible for their own funds, which includes managing your funds and securing your funds. So if you mess up in any of those two areas, it can result in the permanent loss of your funds. So you have to up your responsibility game in order to be safe in crypto. And decentralization, it's a plus as well, but it's also a negative because there's no customer support. If you make a mistake, it can cost all of your crypto, and there's not a bank or company you can turn to help you out with it. Now, the last negative of crypto is also volatility. But if you're trading crypto, you'd probably argue the other way because volatility is how you make money in crypto. But if there's too much volatility for you, it is worth noting that there are ways to get around it. You can diversify your crypto portfolio. You can also get into stable coins. There's many different ways to reduce volatility, but as time goes on, the volatility of the crypto market has been decreasing. So there may be a point in the future where volatility won't be an issue anymore. So that concludes our first video on what is crypto. Stay with me until the next video because we're going to be taking a look at how you can purchase crypto through a centralized exchange. We're going to look at all the different fundamentals of the exchange that you need to understand and how you can place your first crypto order. So I will see you in the next video.